Okay, I want to make sure the mic's working. Okay. Hello everyone! This is my video message from me to the actual servers of the community, ToonTown and ToonTown Corporate Clash. To the members who played the games, my name is Bernice, or you guys know me as Mish-chan or Mish-chan or Mish for short, for the ToonTown really comment dub, voice dubs, and some of the things I usually do there. Well, here and there. But more importantly, I know you guys are pretty much wondering what makes me really have to do this kind of message right now. Just to be clear, I don't intend this kind of quite more often. And I have no intention of hurting you or make you feel uncomfortable. That's not what I'm here to talk about. And it's not my right to do this, but I may not know if my mic's working. The reason why I'm here because I already know that we already have gone through a lot of ups and downs this June. And the unexpected really happened. I've already known about Smirky. He got kicked out of his house, of the dad. And needless to say, he wasn't just the only one who got this kind of experience. And there's so many crazy things that really happened in the month. Despite the fact that it's really indescribable for me to explain. You guys may not notice that I barely am active for the fandom. Not only that, I had dealt with discrimination from my workplace. I walked out last month, and this month, for some of you guys have never even noticed, it got pretty much backfired, and I happened to find out someone was using up the Pride community, LGBT related communities, and so many other communities to cover for this Bungnan. I don't want to get too much detail because I don't wish to trigger anyone's anxieties and such. And it's not only that, it just happened. There were the unexpected happened so frequently that someone's monetizing the homosexuality while covering up the evidence about the missing children over the last several weeks. And it's happened so naturally and quickly. I wouldn't say naturally, it's really odd and strange that there were so many fights were going around and everyone's been used up for something they would have understand. And I don't want to get too much detail, but I just don't really want you guys to keep ignoring the signs that a certain someone really needs your help, those who look up to you. I would have said this before that I kind of told this to Sir Max that I've been around the fandom for 10 years. If it wasn't for certain good apples and good old-time ToonTown fan artists, I wouldn't be here today. And if it wasn't for that spark of inspiration to motivate me and help me to overcome the obstacles and anxieties and fear that I'm getting to, I would have known that it really inspired so many friends I know along the way. If it wasn't for so many crossovers, I never would have guessed. I never would have met so many friends all along the way. Yet, I know the unexpected really did happen, but that still doesn't really mean that we should forget about the thing that made us really happy and made things that really mattered for all of us. And I know this is really unexpected for any of you guys to hear. You guys ever heard about the human trafficking that happened with the Disney employees doing that to the kids in the Disney World theme park? And I can understand why everyone got so mad and upset. But I gotta say this to you guys. Those bad apple co-workers, what happens in the dark comes to light, and what happens behind closed doors, they may open any time. If they can't see how wonderful that any of you guys are, and not just LGBT-related community members, or ToonTown fan members, Christians, black or white, or anyone for that matter. No one didn't appear as what they all expect to be. I've seen you guys grown, and you're all a lot of things. All unique and special and talented. And I had to say this 10 years ago, long before the closure and rewritten in Corporate Clash. You know, I was 18, and I just passed 18 10 years ago. I was so unsure how things were going to work out until getting back to the game originally, until getting to know the original fan members in general. I gotta have to say they knew a lot of those things than I do back in 2013 after 2012. And that didn't stop me from learning. Now, I haven't told you guys this, I am a homeschooled student for a private university for online community. It was so sudden that after researching about the ToonTown Online by Disney on the Wikipedia, I have to say that I never knew the game was educational till I got older and reached the adulthood. I'd be like, without the cogs, those robotic businessmen and women, I would have understood what life being a grown-up is all about. It's really amazing and indescribable, isn't it? We get caught up in our grown-up world, we sometimes forget about the thing that really mattered and what's important to us. I mean, we sometimes easily forget. And yet, I want to continue to contribute to the fandom, but I am learning to take one step at a time. But back to the point, ever since then, sure I made mistakes. But I learned that none of us cannot live in the past while living in fear or let what really makes us scared and hold back stop us from doing the right thing and make us really happy. And more importantly, if it wasn't for many of you guys, I wouldn't be here today, both old and new alike. And you've always been welcoming, like the rewritten team says. And we all have so many things in common, including my friend Danny-chan. Even she gets so afraid and nervous that she doesn't feel like she doesn't belong to the fandom. I mean, the fandom community in general. But everyone should feel welcome, fairly and equal. And unlike the bad apples that you've already seen, as mentioned somewhere before, that doesn't really mean that you had to be hard on yourself for the things that you didn't see behind closed doors. Even though they didn't want to admit, it didn't just happen in your game community, it happened in Wizard 101, the Magical Girl fandom, Twitch, Discord, YouTube. I know YouTube nowadays, but the truth is, it's happening everywhere. And I have to say this, the bad apples I encountered, I'm just glad that you guys never met them because they're not so nice to me or any of my old and new friends as well either. I have to say this, since you already overheard about those Disney employees did something wrong to force kids against their will or monetize for their dark diabolical gain, I gotta say this to both the members of you guys of all ToonTown related servers, not just Rewritten and Corporate Clash, every one of you in the same communities. If you guys can actually understand what I'm saying, we get caught up in a grown-up world we sometimes forget, but we have all been tricked by those we thought we could trust, those who knew of them and those who knew them before these odd changes. But you cannot let somebody else stop you or dictate how you should think or feel or monetize your identity or your well-being because it's toxic and it's not healthy. And I know what these bad apples, those who kind of force kids and those of all ages against the world is really wrong. And I know it may feel awful, but things will work out in time. And as for the ones who took advantage and monetized your identity, not just in the LGBT content, but many other communities, if they can't honestly see how wonderful and amazing and phenomenal that you guys are, they're gonna realize what kind of what a mad maniac that they are. And if they can't see what a wonderful human being that you are, then maybe they're just not the right role models for any of you guys for the next generation of this decade. And to those who've already graduated as Class 2021 and 22, as animation teams, I know you guys, you are all capable to know what is right and wrong, no matter what circumstances may come. Because I know each and every one of us have our unique perspectives and different art styles. And it doesn't have to appeal to anyone. Because that's what living your life is all about. And you always believe in other people like I have. And I used to be your age. And the thing is, nobody is not perfect. And there's no such thing as perfect. Always improvements. And all I ask of you guys is try to stay safe this summer. And without further ado, I just gotta wrap up from here. But all I can say to you is right now, I'm sorry if I ever sound pretty babbling off again. I believe in you, and you are amazing just the way you are. Stay tuned enough, stay happy and healthy. I love you just the way you are, and don't ever change that. Thank you guys for listening to me. This is Mish-chan, Mish-chan, Mishu for short. And I apologize for the background of my nephew. He's almost going to be 5 years old this year. Signing off. Okay, bye me. Heading to work.